A lot of companies in Malaysia, you can get listed, but then a lot of entrepreneurs forget to keep up with the R&D. And so because of that, you're competing in the global market, you know. Every software company got to compete globally, they cannot be local, you know. And I found that a lot of times, you know, they've neglected the R&D. And then they found that the competitors are coming in with products which are more advanced and all that. So we went through one case so we had to take a back seat and then revamp the whole product, you know, spend millions on it, and then relaunch again the product, you know. So you find that as a software company, a lot of things, it's not static. You must always constantly be moving forward and be aware of what's out there, the competitors, you know. So as a VC, I find that a lot of partnerships, you know, there are a lot of people problem in a lot of companies. So some founders, they start together very well, and then along the way, they didn't work out, you know, and there's a lot of differences of views and all that. So it's very, I think in a lot of companies it happens, you know, except for Job Street, you know, they are one of the most unusual, that the whole team got together very well and they still continue to work together very well. But the other founders, somehow when the company go bigger, there's some friction, you know. So sometimes as VCs, we also have to go in and try to help. And if we can't help, we might have to let go of some of them. So that's why sometimes the founders all leave the company, because we feel that, you know, if you don't let go of this person, the company they can't move forward because they're busy. There's too much infighting, you know. Yeah. So anyway, I find that from Walden, I mean, the last 10 years, I was exposed to quite a lot of all these companies. And then came 2009, last year, the MAFCAP was looking for outsource partners. And BI Walden, they have 3 funds in Malaysia. And then bank industry and Walden decided not to have any more funds, joint venture funds in Malaysia. So when the fund life expired in 2009, we decided to liquidate. That's why there's no more BI Walden. And then we decided to apply for some funds under MAFCAP, and we got 30 million, and we raised another 10 million. So our fund size is very small, 40 million. But I personally feel, and then we started this fund called Teak Capital. There are 3 of us, Aliza, I think I know Aliza Nordin, Chok, Chicken, and myself. So we started this company using the Walden office, substantially all the Walden staff, and with the blessings from Limbu, the chairman of Walden, he gave us some funds, and our Singapore partner who gave some funds to help us to kick off our new fund, you know. So I find, although I find in Malaysia, the fund size, just a VC, and then your private equity is different. You need, I think, 200-300 billion to be a private equity, because the investments are all late stage and bigger size. But if you want to do pure VC, I think with 50 million, you can invest in about 8-10 companies, and it's still okay. So I felt, okay, this is our first fund, why don't we just start, go for 8 companies, you know, finish on the fund, then only, and try to build some successes, and then only we go and start another fund, raise another fund if necessary. Yeah. So how has it been? Throughout the 10 years as a VC, I think we have looked at more than 1,000 companies, you know. I think 1,500, more than about 1,500 companies. Unfortunately, you know, how many did we invest? I think we invested maybe 5-6 companies only, you know. So I'm always wondering, so I'm just giving you my observations, you know. Why is it that you see so many companies and yet we couldn't invest in them? And also sometimes after you invest in them, they also have problems, right? So after you select so many and then there are also problems, right? So one of the things I find is that a lot of entrepreneurs, I think you all should think big, should think bigger, you know. So one of the problems is that if they're too small, it's very hard for us to invest in a company. Because the minimum investment we put in is like 2 million, you know. Because you know, imagine you have 40 million, you put 2 million already for 20 companies, or at least more than 10, 15 companies. So we cannot have too many companies. So I want to reduce it to like 500,000 if we can. So there are people like Cradle and Capital Fund and all that. There are a lot of grants which y'all can go to in the early stage. So one of the things I find is that a lot of companies cannot scale up to that level. So I think my requirement is very minimum. I just say, okay, how are you going to get to 5 million revenue? And how are you going to get the next 5 million revenue? Show me your business plan. Can you do it? So some of them come back and they can't do it. Then there's something wrong with the market, or is there something wrong with how you position your thing, or is it because it's the product itself has a limited market, So I feel, I would say, go back and think about it. I think those who are seen it, I would say go back and think about it, because I don't give the answers. I just say, look, this is what I see. If you want to get VC funding, you need to reach a certain size, right? So of course, if you're still very keen to build a successful company, like Mark and all that, obviously it's worth your while to go back and rethink about your business model, your product, your team and everything. I think it's so important. So one of my observation also is that a lot of people, when they come, they're not ready, So they have not thought through so many of the issues, right? So it's like, okay, I want to do this R&D, just build this product. Then okay, there are a lot of similar companies out there, but sometimes the entrepreneurs are not aware that there are such companies. So now, Google, everything is internet. You just Google, you find out everything, So my advice is spend some time doing the research. When you want to do something, it's worth your while to know what is out there, and then spend time in the planning stage. Don't just rush into it and then what. But do a planning, get a better feel of what is you want to do, how big is the market, and how much funding you need. So I'm quite often when entrepreneurs come and see me, they say, how much money can you give me? I said, it's not what I want to give you. You're going to tell me how much you need, because I'm not running your company. You must go through and work out the financial plans as well. I said, look, if I want to complete this R&D, I need to do it in maybe 18 months. I need to hire 20 people, cost it out, and say how much it costs to complete this R&D. And after that, I need to launch the product, I need to go to market, I need to spend another $500,000 or whatever. Then you work it out systematically, then you know how much you need. So they can't expect the VC to tell them how much they need for their own company, So one of the things, so the financial side is very important. So a lot of entrepreneurs like that knowledge. So I think those companies that got funding from us, first thing I do is make sure they get a finance manager, a qualified accountant who can help with the cash flow planning, who can help with the budgeting, and all that. Because it's so important, and entrepreneurs often are not financial people, They only look at their product, they don't look at the finance. So I need to, because everything at the end of the day, everything boils down to the finance, right? Revenue, how you generate revenue. So there's one of the requirements is that you need to have the financial person in the group. Yeah. Steve, after going through that, Steve Xia will always tell the companies, look, when you are a CEO, the important thing you do when you want to scale the company, find a good right-hand person. So the right-hand person is usually the finance person. It's because when he travels around to all these countries, he needs, like in Malaysia, he needs somebody on the ground to be able to keep that office going and help him with the funds, so that, and also the numbers basically. So he always advised that as well. And so I would say, so the finance part is also quite important. Doing more research, understanding what you want to do,